Well, everyone, I just want to thank you on behalf of SAi International for attending today's webinar. We're going to be discussing the SAi Mobile App, which is one of my favorite new features in SAi 12. I think it's really helpful, and we've made a lot of improvements on it, and Mark's going to be able to go in depth in how it can help you save time and money in your business. Mark Rugen is very experienced in the sign industry. He's owned several sign shops, and he's been touring across the country for years teaching people how to use Flexi and how to get the most out of it. So we'll go ahead and turn the time over to him for the presentation on the SAi Mobile App, and then after that is over, we will have a 20-minute, 25-minute Q&A session. So if you have any questions throughout the presentation, just go ahead and type them into the chat window there, and then Mark will be able to answer those and make sure that we get all your questions answered about the mobile app, or if you have any questions about other features in Flexi. So with that, I'll turn the time over to Mark.
Great, thank you, Stuart. And well, everyone, I am excited to talk about Flexi Mobile App. It's one of those features that some folks didn't know about, and some just simply don't use it too often, but it's becoming more and more popular. I'm going to show you why it's a great feature. It's really a way to just at a glance see what kind of cut jobs are going on in your shop, or what kind of print jobs are being done on a daily or monthly or even yearly basis. It's a way to produce and see reports on your mobile phone, or even your watch for that matter, about what are the trends in the shop. Is business going up? Is it going down? What's happening at the shop? So it's really a business function as well as a tracking capability to make sure that you see what's going on, what's happening right then and there in your shop. It's a great way to help plan for the future as well. I want to welcome everybody again. We've got folks from California, Indiana, Ohio. We've even got somebody out there in Alberta, Arizona. Thanks so much. I know for all of you from the U.S. here, it's voting day, so I hope you go out and exercise your right to vote. It's a great responsibility. All right, so let's move on and let's talk about how this app works. Well, first of all, this is a mobile app. It actually will run on your smartphone, whether that's Android-based or Mac-based. It runs on tablets. You can add it to any kind of smart watch that you might be wearing. It's really kind of an interesting thing. It's completely free. It's updated pretty regularly by the SAi folks, and what it does is it just gives you access to all of that information. Now, to get this app, all you've got to do is go to your iTunes or your Google Play area and search for SAi Cloud app. And when you do that, you'll be able to see the app and download it, and very easy to install and use. So that's kind of how it's going to work. What it's going to provide you on your phone is access to what's happening. Now, how does this information get there in the first place? Well, let's take a look at Flexi here. I'm just going to turn Flexi on for a moment. And over on the right-hand side there, you'll see these tools and resources and so forth. Those are all your cloud tools. When you purchase Flexi, whether you subscribe or purchase it outright, you actually get an account that comes with Flexi, and that's a cloud account. And what happens is, as you're producing jobs, whether they're cut jobs or print jobs, there is information being uploaded to your account that's monitoring what you're actually doing. And what that does is that then starts to get stored, and we take that information and then organize it for you into this app. And believe me, all that's private. You're the only one that sees this, but it's a way to help you analyze your business. So you see, I don't have many files because unfortunately I'm not in my shop. I don't have a shop right now. But basically, this files menu here keeps track of all of your files that are being done. And then on the right-hand side, there's a reports button. If you click on that, it actually will monitor your reports. And this is where you can, even from within Flexi, see how many jobs you've done this week or this month, what's the square footage, so forth, so on. So there's some information that's available to you right within Flexi itself. Well, how does that help us? Let's go back to our presentation here. Well, that information then gets uploaded, and that information goes to your phone. So a couple of things I want to just remind you of. Number one, the The items in green that you see there are actually your cut jobs. The item in blue are your print jobs. And what some people kind of just miss, I just see us older folks, we tend to just keep that phone upright. If you turn it on its side, you can actually separate those into two columns and see each kind of job in there. So it's going to give you the time and the date in which those jobs were done. So let's take this job here. They're called the blue strip, the first one there that's on that little medical symbol there. Well, if you click on that, what will happen is it will actually show you the details of that job. So it's going to give you the job name, what printer you used, the square footage, how many copies you printed, the height and width, what profile you used, and so forth, which is kind of cool. And you could even use this in your shop if you had to. So let's say you're repeating that job and you've forgotten some of the settings that you had for that particular job. This is a great way to kind of access that very quickly, and you'd be able to find that job and get more information about it. So just double-clicking on that job name in the first screen there will give you details of any particular job. In addition to that, it is tracking what we call reports and trends, and there are three kinds of reports and trends that you can look at. At the very top of the app, you'll see there's a bar that says trends, and that's what we click on our phones. So the first screen on the left actually is showing you some totals. This is the total area and total jobs that you've done in that particular a month, right, month by month. So this is kind of cool, and year by year, by the way. When you swipe that screen to the left, you get the one in the blue. So this is all the print jobs you've done. Swipe again to the left, and you have all your cut jobs. So literally, your report on trends here is kind of just giving you an overall view of what's happening, in your particular shop, which is really a good feature. You can kind of separate the print jobs from the cut jobs, and as well see the overall effect of what the total jobs that you're doing for that particular month. Again, while you're in this particular place, you tip your phone over, and then you get a chart, which is awesome because this actually shows you a month-to-month what's been happening in your shop. So this is going to give you some idea. In particular, let's say in this particular customer's case, you can see print jobs are pretty high. They've done more print jobs than cut jobs, and they're trending, at around, you can just quickly look at this, at around 217 jobs a month, blah, blah, blah. So it's a really good way to see things. And then on the bottom where you see jobs, area per job length, you can get even more detail about each, month to month what's happening in that shop, which is really kind of a great way to see trends in your shop up and down. And then you have what we call business insights. It's really, you click on the top of the phone again and go from the trends to what's called the dashboard. So the dashboard, if you see on the left here with the phone upright, it's broken into three parts. This month, the last 3 months, and annual projections. So that's giving you a summary. Here's what you did this month. In this case, they did 93.2 square feet of production, but that's 13% than last year in the same month. Over a 3-month period, they did 10.4 whatever average. That's 12% down. So it looks like they're going down, doesn't it? And then the annual projection will give you an idea of what's going to happen based on those numbers. So this is great for just summarizing how the business is doing. And what this does for owners and others, production staff, is it gives you that ability to sort of stop and say, okay, why is this happening? What's happening? What can we look at? Can I get more details? Well, again, lean that phone sideways, and you're going to get more detail. The first report you're going to get is the month year-over-year report. So here we have a report that's February of this year compared to February of last year. So apparently in the shop, something happened this February. We're not getting quite as much work as we did last year, but not significant amount. The total projected is about 9% down. So again, that just gives you some clear insight into what's happening. Well, let's swipe that phone to the left as it's leaning on the side there, and guess what? Now we get a 3-month comparison year over year. So again, here's what happened in a 3-month period. November through January, last year and this year, and things are not looking quite as bad now over a 3-month period. So we had perhaps a lower month, but overall we're starting to see some average job improvement and so forth. And again, when you spend a little time in here looking at these reports, you'll start to see some great trending that's happening, and that's going to help you analyze what's going on in the business there. Swipe one more time, and you have year over year. So this is the previous year compared to the current year. Well, this is giving us a little bit of happiness, I suppose, because the average print job area is up, and the average cut job area is up, and the projected daily prints and cuts are up. So in other words, it looks like we are going to have about a 10% increase year over in this case, which would be great, at least you know. And I want to stress, too, because I know, having run a shop myself, it was just 2 or 3 people in my shop. We didn't have a giant shop or anything like that. So we didn't have, all these accountants and people advising us and, keeping track of everything. We were busy going out trying to get jobs and produce them and actually put them together. This is being done for you to help you see, even if you're a small shop, what's going on. And this is really the value of this particular piece. I even was teaching a Flexi class, by the way, as a reminder to everyone. If you haven't gone to the Flexi Live events, you should really take a look at that. Just these events, we go through the whole product of Flexi, but it really helps to learn more about the product. But my point here being is I had a couple of folks in that class that actually worked for a government shop, and they they make just standard street sign signage and so forth, and they actually wanted to know, how much signage are we doing compared to the previous year and so forth. It was important for them to see their shop production in order to get budgeted and so forth. So it can be used for that purpose as well. It's a very, very impressive capability here. It's very, very impressive. So this app that we're talking about here is awesome. It's very easy to install. If you want to look at another video of this, we're actually recording this, and we'll post this on our YouTube page. You can just go to YouTube and type in SAi International, and you'll see all of the different videos that are posted there. But this is the app, and I know you're going to really enjoy using it in your shop. It's one that I think is very, very helpful in keeping track of shop trends. I hope that kind of helps you with your capabilities in your shops. It's a short webinar, needless to say, because it's not a complicated subject. But the big point here is everybody has this ability. When you have Flexi 12, you get this with it. So you should take advantage of it and see what your shop is doing. Be interesting to meet you at a show or at a Flexi Live and give us some comments too. We want feedback. What new features would you like to have in that particular app and so forth. That would be greatly appreciated as well. Stuart, I think we're probably ready to take some questions if we've got any.
Okay, well, it looks like we already do have one question there. Cal wanted to know if the app works well if you have multiple printers.
Yes, indeed, it does. What happens is it's when you're printing through your production manager, it's needless to say you're going through and printing to a particular printer. So it will actually track by printer which one is doing what. So that's a good question. Certainly does work well.
Okay, then we have another one here. And I'd just like to mention to everyone, if you do have a question, feel free to go ahead and type it in, even while we're answering some of the others. Then we'll go down through the list, and we'll make sure we get those questions answered for you. So Beth asked if the cloud is available for Flexi 10.
At this time, no, I don't believe it is. I think we started the cloud features in Flexi 11, if I remember right. Is that right, Stuart? Do you remember? I don't remember.
Yes, yeah.
I think that's
all the cloud features are Flexi 11 and onward.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Paula asked if the app can be used on multiple phones at the same time.
I would think so. I have not tried that, but I would think so, yes, and probably multiple devices as well. So if you had let's say an iPad in your shop, and then the sales guy or owner was at another location, they could both access it at the same time.
Yeah, I've used the app as well, logged into an account at the same time as someone else, so you can both access the information, or even more than two. If you're logged onto the same account, then you can all access that. Okay, looks like we have another question here. Oh, and Terry also says that they've been using it on 2 phones in their office. Then he
Awesome.
asks if there are any plans to start working with the Epson 1430 printer so we can print film negatives for screen printing.
I don't know the answer to that question. That would have to be a SAi rep that would know that. I don't know the answer to that question. I do know that what SAi does is, in fact, they're one of the leaders. They typically even have printers that are not on the market yet that they're working on. So my guess would be yes, but that would be something that SAi would have to answer officially.
Let's see what we can find out for you, Terry. We'll be sending out a recording of the webinar, and if you reply, and you can talk to our customer service and see if we do have any plans in that regard. Okay, and then we have another question here from Kyle. It says that they can import multiple JPEG files at once, but they can't import PDF files with multiple pages. Do you know
yes, I believe
that's causing that?
The case. Yeah, okay. I think that's just a limitation at this point. So that's something that we would need to look into to make a change for maybe the next revision or next version.
Yeah, let me make a note of that, Kyle, that we want to be able to import all the pages of a PDF file at once. And I'll give that to our developers and see if that's something we can start working on for a future release.
And that's, by the way, that's the way it works in the design side of Flexi. Now, if you're in Production Manager and you import the PDF file into Production Manager, it will actually import all of the pages and also give you the option of choosing the particular pages. So if you just use Production Manager without having to change the PDF, it will definitely open up multiple pages at this point.
Oh, okay. That is good to know. Thank you, Mark.
And thank you, Renee, for commenting. Yeah, it would be great if we could work on that. And she mentions Illustrator's the same way, though. So that is the case in most design software at this point.
Okay. Okay, and then Perry asked, is there going to be a flatten feature when importing PDFs? Okay, lots of questions on PDFs today.
Yeah, I don't know the answer. That would be something that would certainly also be helpful. So that would be something that Stuart could look into as well.
Okay, I'll add that to our notes to discuss with developers. This is one of the things I do enjoy about having webinars, is that we're able to get, live feedback from customers in ways we can improve Flexi. We're always looking to make it better. And let's see, we have one more question here. It said that sometimes when exporting a file, like a JPEG or PDF, with text that has an outline, the text color changes to white, but the outline is not.
Not exactly sure what's going on there. I see a file to actually make a comment on that one. Normally when you're exporting a file as a JPEG or a PDF, obviously as a JPEG, the text will get converted or rasterized when you finally export that as a JPEG, so that shouldn't happen. But then on the PDF, it may or may not. It just depends on the export. So I don't know the answer to that question, Cal. I'd have to see a file to investigate that a little bit more.
Okay, if anyone has any other questions, we can go ahead and answer those. And I just want to encourage you, if you download the Flexi app and give that a try and see all the different features that it gives. If you also do have comments or contributions, anything you'd like to see the app do, that it doesn't currently, go ahead and reach out to us. Let us know. We're always looking to make improvements on the app as well, make it as user-friendly as possible, and give you as much information as we can. And Terry asks who you contact. If you have questions about the app, you can reach out to our support team. Their email address is esupport@thinksai.com. And they can help you with any issues there, or if you have any suggestions, they'd be able to pass those on to the developers as well.
And sign up for a class, and you can ask me directly.
Yeah. Mark's travels around a lot, so odds are he'll be somewhat near you at one point or another.
Good deal, folks. Any further questions? It can be on any subject. We're open to another 5 minutes or so questions if you'd like.
All right. Terry wants to know when you're coming near Yuma.
Yuma, Arizona. I believe, in fact, we've done a couple of, we always come to Phoenix for Muto training, as well as I think Montroy has them out there. But we're developing our new schedule as we're speaking right now for 2017, so that should be done in the next 30 days. And I'll let resellers in the area know. We generally use a reseller to sponsor it. So if you've got somebody that you're purchasing from and in your local area, there, let them know and let them tell them to contact SAi, and we'll see if we can get one in your area. Definitely.
Okay. And Renee said that she downloaded the app and looks like it's going to be very helpful. Lots of info, and we're glad to see that. I know a lot of people like having access to the info even when they can't be in the shop. It gives them an idea of what's going on. And then we do have a couple more questions. Let me just finish this one about the classes. Terry wanted to know if there's a fee for the classes and if you're going to be at the ISS show in Long Beach.
Right. I won't be at that particular show, but I will be in the Long Beach area fairly soon. In fact, I've got a class coming up in, well, this one happens to be in Los Angeles, I think, in the first part of December at the Muto facility. Not Danvers, it's I can't remember the name, Terrence, I think is where it is. Yeah, we do charge a slight fee. The classes typically are $199 for one person, and then we discount for groups. So it's very affordable. It's an all-day class. It starts usually at 9 o'clock and ends about 4, and we cover everything for any level of user. And for those of you that have been using Flexi for a while, a lot of folks come to the class, and we start out with beginner topics and so forth, but I always have folks that are a little bit more intermediate or advanced tell me they just didn't know some of the things that we're, even that we're teaching that are basic stuff. So, when you have to teach yourself, sometimes you miss a few things. So I encourage you all to take a look at that. It's a very, very good class. Lots of good reviews on it.
Okay. It looks like we have one more question here from Carl. He asked, can the banner finishing features be saved or exported if using another RIP, like VersaWorks?
Well, the banner finishing features are found in the production manager itself. So when you design a banner, let's say in Flexi, and then send that to production manager, that's where you would be adding those features. Now, once you've added those features in production manager, you could try going to the file menu and saving the file in a format that might be opened by VersaWorks, but it's not a workflow that we generally support right now. So my tendency is to say no. I have not tried that, but my instinct tells me that's probably not going to be the case. But since you brought it up, I'm certainly going to try it after I hang up. That's for sure.
Okay, and hey Mark, could you show us the Learn Flexi website that has your schedule for all the training dates?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Let's go over here. Yeah, if you folks want to see this site, and let me kind of reduce this here. Just go to Learn, Flexi, Flexi.com. And I'm going to reduce this so we can see it full screen here. Give me 1 second. Going to get this all fixed here real quick. There we go. Okay. There we are. So this is a site all of you should visit as well. It's a, we have some learning videos on here. There's a blog with various topics that are posted. When SAi creates a video, typically it gets posted here automatically as well. There's all kinds of things you can do here. There's a sign up for Flexi seminars, and when you click on that button, basically it takes you to a page that will actually identify with all the it tells you the agenda of the class, of course, and then it tells you where we're going to be. So you just scroll down and you can see all the locations here. So in November I've got a 2-day in Dallas. In December I've got California, another one in Orlando, and then one in Atlanta to finish the year. So when you get to this particular page, which is just real easy to remember, just learnflexi.com, you'll be able to see where all those locations are. In addition, if you go to Think SAi, that's thinksai.com, and click on events, there's actually a list there as well of all the locations. So biggest thing you should do as a Flexi user, I think, is, like Stuart said, just contact eSupport at thinksai.com and tell them to add you to the mailing list, because we regularly do these webinars as well as provide information. And a lot of the content we're sending you is really good content. I mean, it could be a video or tips or something like that. So you'll want to sign up for those as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark. Looks like we have one more question about the Flexi workspace. Terry, just want to know if there's a way to change the color of the paper background.
Yeah, at this point, no, Terry. What happens is as you can probably see here, let me just start a new page here. And I believe she's talking about the background behind the actual design area here. So at this point, the answer would be no, you could not do that. Now, the page itself, needless to say, you can. So if you wanted to change the page itself, you just drag the color to the actual page itself. So that might be one helpful thing if you need to do that. A lot of folks will drag a very light gray color to that and then design on top of that. But the page behind the actual design area cannot be changed. So what I've done here is just sort of done this, and then what a lot of folks will do is they'll maybe make it bigger and then design inside that grayish background there. That's the only workaround I have for that right now.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see. We have another question here from Perry. Yes, are there any plans to link, sorry, I can't see what, CRM, so that you can recall customer info and what products they had, or a mechanism to import and export into a customer database? Again,
very, very good suggestion, and let me dive into this really quickly here, Stuart, if I can. This is exactly the kind of helpful comment that we want at SAi. This program that you have, which is Flexi, really can be made into anything you want it to be, and it's really a huge database, a very flexible database that they use for programming. So what that means to all of you as users is a suggestion like this. If there's enough folks that want this, it will definitely happen. And it gives you that ability. Now there's some minor things, and I'll just kind of show you a couple of things here that is along the lines of what you're talking about there, Perry. At the moment, in the edit menu, there's job info, where you can fill in things like the job name and the price and the customer name and so forth. So this is sort of the beginnings of a CRM. Of course, I realize you probably want to use a standard CRM that you might purchase, in a third party or something like that. But this is sort of the beginnings of this, where you type in all of the customer information, you have all of the comments that you want to add in here, and then you even have stats about this particular job. So this is partly what's being used to generate the information that's on that Flexi app, mobile app that we're talking about right there, right? So in the edit menu, you have a little bit of that. You can separate that into just stats. These are the stat details here in the edit menu, show you for this particular job, what's the height and width in the area, and how wide is it, and what colors were used, and so forth. That information is there. And there's even a job estimation capability built in. So the basis for what you're asking for is definitely there. And as we move forward, a lot of what SAi and speaking with some of the management there are looking at is not just developing new sign and creation features, but new business features. So this is definitely something that will be passed along, and I really appreciate you mentioning it. Very, very good.
Okay.
I see another question here. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kyle asked, in the rip and print menu, how can you make the color in label and marks as black as default color? He says, I have cyan.
Okay. Let's take a look here. Let's see here. Let's pull this up here a little bit. And let's double click on this job, let's say. So in the rip and print menu, when you double click on a job name, basically you get a picture of that job over here. This is where you can kind of change the job size and change a number of things. And in the there's a tab generally right in the very center there. If I had marks, print marks, and so forth in here, crop marks and so forth, you can change those if you need to. Now I don't have a lot that I'm doing on this particular job, so it's a little off here. But this is generally the area where you can change some of those things. If there's crop marks and so forth, you can generally assign colors to them as well. So it just depends on the markers that you've got in here, depending on what you're actually looking for, and the options will turn on and off for those particular pieces. That's generally where you're going to be looking, Cal, for most of those settings. And if you're in the Flexi product itself, and you've got something here, and you hit rip and print, and you get to this menu, again, if you're getting ready to set some things in this particular job, and you go to the color management settings there, it'll take a second for that to come up for me. There we are. So it says here, print labels and so forth. Here's my print marks. Here's crop marks. And then this is where you can actually assign the colors out. So this could be, black. It can be cyan. It could be any color you want. Just change it right in this area right here. And again, that applies to any of these markers that you have over on this side. That's probably what you're asking about, and I'd probably take care of you.
Okay, thank you. So Jim asked, when I highlight a word of text, it has a red outline. Can I change that color?
Yeah, that cannot be changed right now, and I want to talk about what Jim's talking about here. That's that reddish line that you see around the edge there. When you select something like this, and then you actually select it, it puts that hairline in there. And interesting, Stuart, you should make a note of this as well. Interesting comment I had in my last training class. There were 3 folks that said, yeah, sometimes I have my text selected, and I show it to my customer, and they're like, oh, I like that, and especially like the red line around the outside. And I'm like, well, that's just a selection tool, but you can add that hairline if you wanted to. You certainly can't change it as far as selecting, but in your fill stroke editor, where you're right here, if you turn on a stroke, and I've made mine rather large, and then deselect, you'll see that's black. But you can change that to any color you want, right? So if your customer absolutely loves that little tiny red line on there, well, then you can add it as a stroke, and they'll use it. Otherwise, it's just a matter of, it's just a way that we show that selection line there. So Stuart will pass this along, but it would be nice to be able to change the color of the selected line to any color you want. Another neat feature that we might consider in the future.
Okay, excellent. Okay, do we have any more questions for Mark today? Okay, if not, then we'll go ahead and wrap up. We'll be taking a break from doing our Flexi webinars in December, but we will resume in January. So we'll be having our next webinar on January 10th. And don't worry, we'll go ahead and we'll send out an email with all the information, give you a reminder. So if you do have any questions, go ahead and jot them down and bring them with you next time. And we hope to see you. We hope to see you soon.
And many thanks. Thank you, everybody, for saying so. We appreciate it. And go vote.
Yes, thank you.
We'll see you next couple of months. Bye.